Hello viewers, I've got 5 RV hacks for you today that will save you some problems and maybe some money and certainly a potential stinky mess. Hacks, tips, tricks, whatever you want to call them. Trust me, I learned this one by mistake. If you're going, everybody, everywhere you ever look will tell you when you're going to dump your sewer that you always pull the black first, and then when you're done, you pull the gray. Now that's correct. However, I'm going to go against the grain here and tell you to do it in reverse, but very specifically. You see these? There's a sewer line. There it is. All right. You see these divots? Okay. They go up on your sewer line, which is right there, just like that is. They go up on these little nipples. Now, you can see my line, my sewer line, is down at an angle like this. Yours could be flat, back, forward, whatever. The problem is, you go to hook this in, and you're hooking it through these like you're supposed to, and you twist it on. It feels good and tight. You can see that these are on the nipples. Just like this. Just like this. These are on the nipples. They're in the slots. It's heck to do this one-handed. It's nice and tight. You go open your black water, and guess what? Sewer runs out back here all over the place. The old saying, if you've had that happen once, you'll never do it again. Well, don't do what yours truly did. I had it happen once, and the following day again. I didn't learn my lesson. The problem is this screws on tight, and you can't see the one back here, so it goes just under, and it feels tight and solid. But it's not actually hooked in the back on a nipple. And when you open your black tank, water will shoot out everywhere here. So that's why I say I'm going to tell you to open it in a different way. Hook this up, open your gray water tank for 3 seconds, and then shut it off. If water shoots out back there, you can take this off and reseat it and put it back on. Make sure you get it on tight. And then all you've got is sink water there. You don't have toilet water there. If nothing happens, obviously it's all going down the drain. It's solidly hooked. Shut this off after 2 or 3 seconds and then proceed like you're supposed to. Open and let the black water drain. When it's done, close it, then open the gray. But it's better to open this for a couple of seconds to make sure it's solidly hooked in the back. Because if water runs out, it's no big deal. If it's sink water. If it's toilet water, it's a mess. So, do it that way. Save yourself a real problem. I do it every time now. Alright, my second hack. Get you a little bottle of hydrogen peroxide. When you're at the RV park, squirt a little bit on the water handle and the threads that you put your hose in. Because people touch sewer and touch that, and you don't want that. It's not going to hurt you. Spray it down when you first get there and go on. Now, the hack here really is people sanitize their water lines. That's great. But they often don't sanitize this section here where your city water goes in. Yours could be in a different place. But the city water goes through here, and however long that pipe is behind here, it could be a few inches, it could be several feet. That seems to never get sanitized. The simple solution is to do a double duty here. Get your white RV water hose, pour about 2 tablespoons of bleach in it, hook it up here, shut off your fuel pump, turn on your hydrogen water, go inside, turn on your kitchen sink on cold water for about 2 seconds and shut it off. That sanitizes your white drinking line, and it sanitizes this line, which always seems to be forgotten. And then, of course, you're going to sanitize the rest of your tanks. But there's 1,000 videos on how to sanitize your RV. It's just this one's often overlooked, as is your hose and the dirty knobs at the campgrounds. Okay, viewers, if you're ever driving down the highway or a road, this hack can save you a lot of money. Maybe you're driving, you know you've got gas in your RV, and all of a sudden it just dies. Doesn't have a known problem. It's got gas. It just dies. You're going to end up with a tow truck, which you may have roadside assistance with. And then you're going to end up in a mechanic shop 1 to 4 days, hundreds of dollars. The reality is, it's probably that you hit something in the road, especially if you hear a loud thud or pop. If you hit a rock, a stick, a big one is a truck tire, a piece of truck tire, and it happens to pop up and hit your fuel tank. There's an emergency sequence of fuel shutoff that occurs, and your engine just dies. Obviously, you're going to get off the side of the road, and you're going to come down right here. You're going to remove this panel. This is in a Ford E450 cutaway van. Chevys, most of your 40, 350, and 450s have it. I can't really show it to you. It's right up here at the top of my finger. You're just going to pull this panel or reach in. It'll even say fuel reset in there. Probably can't see it. You can see at the top of my finger there. It says fuel reset. There's a button. Obviously, you shut the car off or the RV off. You turn it back on without starting it as far as you can, and you reach in here and you push this button to reset it. If you hear your fuel pump like I do in this one, you'll hear it kick back on. Now, it's going to take about a minute leaving the ignition in the accessory position for that fuel to reprime all the way to the engine. So just leave it on without starting it for about a minute, and then try to start it. If it don't start, shut it off. Wait a few seconds, turn it back on, let it wait about a minute, try to start it again. Don't try to start it longer than about 5 seconds at a time. Wait 5 seconds, try to start it again. Now, if for some reason by the third time it hasn't started, and you've waited a minute between each time, you may not have reset that right. Come back and try it again. There's been a lot of people that have lost a lot of money, and most importantly, their vacation time, because they hit a tire or something on the road. They may not even know it, because the RV tank's 28 foot in the back, and you may not even have heard it. But that's the problem. It's just a simple button to push. It turns it back on. It's an emergency shut-off switch. So if your RV runs fine, you've got gas, and you know you hit something, or maybe you didn't even know you hit it. It just dies. Check this. If it's not here, it may be on here on the driver's side, or it may be under the hood, but in most Fords it's here. You can also go to the manufacturer's website, put in the year and make, and print off the owner's manual and look under emergency procedures, or under the fuel system, or troubleshooting, and it'll tell you exactly the sequence. I would suggest you do that. If you don't have the owner's manual, you'll know exactly how to do it. Okay, another tip: if you're climbing a long steep hill in a big RV, like a Class C in the Fords, this is a 2001. It's on an E450 platform. If you're climbing a long hill, and most importantly, if you're going down a long hill, you don't want to ride your brakes. The best friend you will have is to drop this into second gear and push this button in. Turns overdrive off, shifts the transmission a whole lot smoother, holds you going downhill without having to brake constantly. Try a hill without doing that and one with doing it, and you will not believe the difference. So much easier on the transmission, keeps it cooler. It goes downhill slow just by pushing this button in. Okay, here's another kind of hack or tip. If you have a heater and it's working fine, but all of a sudden for some reason it started making a squealing noise, not a grinding noise, no burn smell, just an annoying squeal. Take your rubber mallet or a hammer and tap 4 or 5 places here, and tap on the other side outside. You may have simply had a grit of sand or dirt or something get within the the fan bearings. If it goes away, you're good. I've had a mechanic tell me to do this because I had the problem. If it comes back, do it a second time. And if it comes back after that, then you need to have it serviced. But oftentimes there'll be little tiny grits of sand or something that's causing a whining, or a little bit of a stuck bearing that's still good, but it just needs a little tap. And I had that problem a year ago, and I've had this going many times since, and I've never had another issue. It may not work for you, but it's a thought. Okay, the last one you probably already know. But if you have vents, I have 2, 4, 6, 8 in my RV. If you get in it, it's hot. You turn the air conditioning on, close all of the vents except for one. Open a couple of windows, let it go for about 5 minutes. Shut the windows, and in another 5 minutes, this whole section in here will be cool. It's called dumping the air in one area. And then you can go through and open up your other vents. All right, guys and gals, that's all I got for you today. I hope these tips, hacks, whatever you want to call them, help you. Especially that one about the fuel reset. A lot of people don't know that. Check your owner's manual or print one off. Thank you for watching. Share and please subscribe.